Hey, hi everyone. We are going to talk about this hot topic now, the corona crisis. And actually, I have good news for you. The corona crisis is not so much about the corona, so I don't think the coronavirus is that bad. I think it's a very bad flu. But if you look at it in terms of world problems, the flu kills every year thousands of people, and the number of people that have died of corona is actually very small compared to what normally happens. I believe that this whole situation is a media hype because they have an agenda to blame something that is like an outside force in order for the people that are actually responsible for the world situation not to be blamed. Actually, already for many years, the world has been in economic difficulties, and we've been experiencing an economic downturn. We are talking about global economic collapse for, well, I don't know, for 10 years. Since the 2008, it really accelerated. What happened is that the banking system collapsed, and the world went into bubble economy. So the coronavirus right now is precipitating all that. If you see the numbers of the last quarter of last year, many countries already went into recession, and the shipping was very slow. Everything was going very slow. But then the coronavirus locked everything up. And that was due especially because of China's overreaction. You know, what China did, they shut down the whole country, and that has enormous consequences for the whole world. And it's like a domino effect because shipping basically stopped because all the factories were kind of stopped. And then if you can you imagine if there is nothing to be shipped, ships and airplanes, cargo airplanes are not going anywhere. And now we notice this week the stock market crash because of course, you know, like people start noticing, oh my God, you know, the shipping is not happening, the shops are going to be empty, and then people start selling stocks because they know that the companies are not going to be making that much profit or even going to losses. So that uncertainty created the stock market. When the stock market sells up, a lot of money disappears, okay? Because there is big losses. So people lose money, and that accelerates the downturn. Already also the other aspect of it is for the oil industry. There has been overproduction of oil for several years now. The prices of oil have been decreasing. Currently, the Brent price is around $50, and the Texas was like about 40 something dollars. So just for you to realize, Saudi Arabia, for instance, they need $100 barrel price for them to keep their economy going. This is half the price. So there's a lot of problems brewing as well because countries that heavily depend on the energy sector are going to have financial trouble. Think about all the factories right now. I was talking to a friend this week, and he lives in Barcelona, and he was telling me about his neighbor that works for a Chinese company that sells little electric engines in Europe for factories. You know, these engines are components to make other things, and they can't deliver anything. So they are waiting now for weeks, and they have no products to deliver. And you think about all those factories in Europe that depend on that product. Well, they cannot finish their product because they depend on that part. You hear already, I heard today that Audi stopped a factory because they don't get batteries from China. I heard Hyundai stopped producing because they miss parts to Japan, Germany, all over the place. Factories are shutting down because they miss products to finish their products. Think about what it does to places like Amazon or eBay. These are basically shipping Chinese products that people buy online. You know, I was talking also to someone in Brazil, and he had started a little dropship business. I don't know if you know about drop shipping. You know, you buy and sell online and make a profit. Well, his business, he had to stop because China is not delivering anything. Okay. And in China, everybody's paranoid. People are refusing to go back to work, even if the government says you should go back to work. I heard today that even they have in some places officials asking factory managers to put the lights on and run as much electricity as can, because that's how they measure, by electricity consumption, they measure the regain of activity, so that the official government can show the world that the economy is picking up. But right now, the economy is still completely shut down in China. Imagine what it does to the travel industry. Did you realize that in the last couple of years, 30% of the tourism worldwide is Chinese citizens? China is responsible for 1/3 of the hotels and airlines and cruise ships all over the world. All that stuff is finished. Nothing is happening. That's why you see more and more how it's going to affect not only the hotels, but restaurants, and also the scare. People are not going to be willing to hang out where there is crowds. All sorts of events have been canceled. It's going to affect the shopping malls, because people are going to avoid being in crowded places. And also, when there is a lot of uncertainty, people are unwilling to spend. They kind of start hoarding. So they're going to be at home sitting on their cash under the mattress. And this is all creating a banking crisis. Because just imagine that. If you have a business and your business is not selling as it used to be, or not producing at all, you're not making any cash flow. If you're not making any cash flow, you can't pay your bills. You can't pay salaries, you can't pay rent or mortgage, you can't pay electricity bill, you can't pay your taxes, and you can't pay your loans. And banks have much more loans than they have assets, capital. So if only a fraction of their loans go bad, they go bad. So banks were already in the brink, because for years now, there's more debt than money to repay the debt. So since 2008, what saved the banks was the intervention of the central banks. And you will see in the coming weeks, central banks will be intervening like crazy, because central banks is basically the same people behind it. You think they are government owned, but they are basically privately owned. And it's the same shareholders: the Federal Reserve, the Bank of England, the Central Bank of Europe, the Bank of Japan. So these people, they sit down and they coordinate their action, because they will do what they only know what to do, which is to print more money. They will print money like crazy. They will give money like they're doing. China is giving money to airlines to keep them afloat. They are going to give money to Tom, Dick, and Harry on the street to keep things afloat. But you cannot, with money printing, you cannot replace the economy. You can just put a bunch of paper. So many companies will go belly up. Within 3 months to 5 months, a lot of companies will go and file for bankruptcy. That will put enormous pressure in the banking system. They will put enormous pressure in governments, because governments are not going to be receiving more tax. It's going to create enormous unemployment, a wave of unemployment worldwide, and this is going to create unrest. And it you already see in many places. Now you have waves of Muslim people allowed through Turkey to go to Europe. You have everywhere in the world, people are trying to go to places where they think they can make more money, but there is the economy is all stopped. Airlines are going to go sour because business travel is not happening at the moment. Companies are not sending their employees to travel for business, and the airlines, they live from especially business trips. And I stumbled into this article today. That's today in New York. Uh, they this Costco, you know, the big supermarket, at opening time, the people waiting in line to get in the supermarket and fill up for their shopping, because everybody wants to be safe at home with as much shopping as possible. And yeah, this is what happened. It happened in Milano already, in Italy, and in many other places in China. It's not documented, but it's happening there too. You know, you just go to the place and there is no merchandise anymore. Many things come from China is not being delivered anymore. Many things are partially made in China, even if they are done locally. The local people cannot finish because they miss something from China, if it's packaging, if it's bottles, if it's parts. And with all that, you're going to see the government printing money, printing money, printing money. So there's going to be a lot of cash going around, but not much to buy. Look, this is not a new problem. If you see this diagram here, what a $20 bill could buy you in 1998, in 2005, and today, inflation is basically slow death of your currency. You know, there is more currency available for the same amount of people, for the same amount of goods. So then every time we present more paper to buy the same thing, the prices go up. So this is time for caution. It's time to prepare so that you have more chances to sail through this in quiet waters, or even to profit from it. You know, some people might say, like, profit from it. Well, you know, money is going to go somewhere, and some people are going to lose and some people are going to win. So my intention here is to share ideas with you that can make you protect yourself and maybe even make a couple of good investments that will make you smile in the future. First thing, you want to pay up your debt. If you have debt, get rid of it. Because when the banks start failing and governments start, you know, like in Europe and in the United States, the law is already in place 5 years ago that the banks have the legal right to do bail-ins. If you never heard bail-in is when they take your money from your bank account to pay for their bills. So your money is not safe in the bank. But if you owe them money, they're not going to write it off. You will still have a debt. So you're gonna be having your money confiscated, but you still have your debt, which already happened in 2008. Exactly that. So everybody's trying to get financial freedom, but the system is rigged and it's working against us. So what you need to do is, instead of having cash, which is losing money all the time, losing value all the time, you need to go for assets, okay? Those of you that have real estate or stuff that is enduring, okay, it's a good investment. But it's maybe going to be deflation in the short term, because when the economy finishes collapsing, there's not going to be as much money as before. So nominally, certain things that costed $1 million now will be worth $500,000 or $200,000. But okay, if you have a house, well, you still have a house. You still have a full house. So many people are going for art, for cars, for stuff like that, because it preserves the value of things. You want to preserve the value of your money. And you know that currency is devaluing the value, the purchasing value. So I'm going to talk about a few options that you could consider to enhance your portfolio. First is cryptocurrencies. It's relatively new. It started in 2009, but look at it. Bitcoin started in January 2009, 0.01 cent, and now Bitcoin is between 8,000 and 9,000 US dollars in 10 years. That's something that, okay, Bitcoin goes up and down like crazy, but over time, it proved to be a fantastic investment, and I believe it's a serious option, especially if the bank system locks down, because this can happen. The banks lose trust on each other, and then they don't transfer money from each other anymore, and things like bank passes, credit cards, they will stop working at least for a while before the situation is reestablished. And with cryptocurrencies, you can still make your payments because it works like email. You can send your payment directly anywhere in the world. So it will be more and more looked after because it's a serious alternative for the banks. And of course, gold is an excellent investment. Gold is very popular since thousands of years. Everybody knows gold. In India, gold is almost like number one thing. You know, people hoard jewelry. They're crazy about gold. Countries, central banks, they hoard gold. They've been hoarding gold since the last 10 years, increasing, because they know that when the paper fails, everybody goes back to the gold. But of course, gold, it's difficult to buy because, you know, it's heavy and it's expensive. The advantage is it keeps the value, the purchasing value. If you would find like this 1600 years old gold coin, the value of the gold didn't change. Okay, so this is what you need to think of: protection by buying gold. So I'll give you a couple of ideas how to get gold. You could go, I did business with these people, goldsilver.com. You know, it's just like a gold dealer. You can buy coins. You see today's price, $1,689 for a coin. The price of gold fluctuates, but in principle, over time, the price of gold tends to and silver is also, you can buy silver coins. A silver coin is, I think today, around $18 for a silver coin. So silver, you can buy more coins, and it can be a real thing, because if the paper money loses the value, people might not accept your paper money, but they still will take a silver coin or a gold coin. Okay? Now, I found these people, and I did business with them as well. It's called gold money. You buy gold, you send them your currency, your euro, your dollar, your pound, and then they transform that in gold, that they state that they vault it for you. And then you could get a MasterCard, and then you can use your gold in case you need, transfer back to cash. So that gives a certain liquidity, and you don't have to keep gold at home, which was one of the problems that I faced when I bought gold. Well, number one, I travel, and then it's not handy to be traveling with gold. There's metal detectors everywhere, and authorities don't let you travel with a lot of money with you. And second of all, we got robbed. You know, we were traveling, and then we hear that someone broke into our house, took the safe out of the wall, and our savings in gold, which I already was doing this years ago because I knew what was coming. So it's not new. This is not new. They stole. So then, yes, I thought keeping it with a third party is a different type of risk, because I thought it was safer to keep it at home, but I got stolen at home. Here, if you keep it with a third party, if the banking system locks, maybe you don't have access to it immediately, but at least you can get the physical part depending where you live. These different companies have different offices in different places. I personally discovered one company, and it's a German company. And this is what you're seeing. This is stashes of cash. It happened after the First World War. There was a huge hyperinflation in Germany. And this is stashes of paper currency that's probably not worth that much. The Weimar Republic, they were confronted with something that is pretty much similar with what we have right now. Their system collapsed. They had so much debt after the war. They had to pay so much that they had no other recourse than to print money. And that's what's going to happen now. The banks are going to print money. So look what happened to the currency. Here on the left, you see German marks needed to buy 1 ounce of gold. In January 1919, 170 marks would buy you 1 ounce of gold. Now you go a little bit further. In September 1922, it was already 30,381 from 170. And a little bit further in 1923, I don't know how many trillions that is, 87,000,000. The thing was so bad that they stopped even printing money. They started stamping money because it was the money was devaluing quicker than they could distribute it. So you see here 20 Millionen, this is 20 million, and they stamped on top 2 Milliarden mark. So they went from 20 million to 3 billion mark, just stamped on it. So the Germans, they know about inflation. They know what happened. And that's why I trust this is Karatbars. It's a German company. And Germans are very keen on not having inflation. So this guy, Mr. Science, the founder, he decided to create this company because he wanted to create a product that would allow people to buy gold in very tiny quantities. If you buy a gold coin, 1 ounce gold coin, it's like $1,600 right now. $1,600, many people don't have $1,600 to save. And if you have to break it, you're not going to cut a piece of the coin. You have to change the whole coin. So it's not very convenient. And he started with the concept of having gold denominations as little as 0.01 gram. It's 1/10 of a gram. And gold can be put in very tiny portions. So this is what it's a product that they have right now. It's called cash gold. You see the paper, and then the little bit of gold is real gold in it. And then the value of that gold, the smallest one is about 5 or 6 euros right now. And then 10 euros, but it's the 0.01 gold or zero. So this is going to be keeping its purchasing value anywhere in the world, because you go to a person that trades in gold and they can very quickly authentify that this is real gold, and they give you the currency in exchange. Okay, this company also has gold cards, also with 1 gram of gold and 2 grams of gold. So it's like a credit card size. So also, 40, 50, 60 euros, you can have a card. So it's nice to keep at home or to give as a gift. And they have vaults in Germany, in Singapore, in Hong Kong, where they have the physical gold, because when you can buy gold and have them keep for you. So you buy it, they buy the gold, and they stash it for you. So for that, they don't charge you, because there is also a business, there is a referral business. And actually, that makes that you can make money from it. I'll tell you a little bit further in this presentation. So they also are very proactive, and because of the cryptocurrencies, they developed their new cryptocurrency that is somehow linked to the value of gold. So you could have, in case of bank failing, you can still transact in gold through the cryptocurrency. So any fractions, it's also possible to use it that way. So they have an exchange where you can send money and buy their cryptocurrency, or send money and buy gold. And there are many ways that you can transact, especially they have also like a MasterCard that you can have linked to your gold savings. So in case you need to buy something with currencies, you have the possibility to use your savings. But not only that, because of this company being a referral company, you can refer friends, and then they have to have your referral in order to purchase gold for the first time. And then they have their savings, and you are rewarded from a little bit of what they buy. And you don't have to buy, you don't have to do the business, but you can get the reward. And you can use this as a savings account that rewards you over time. And you can do it as a business. It can be a really big business. And right now, the same way you're interested in this video because you're looking for options, there are thousands of people that are seeing their value of their money being taken away from them. They are concerned about the survivability of their banks. They are concerned about all that is happening in the world, and these monies are looking for safe places. And this is my choice because it's not a bank. It's in a very regulated country. The people that indicated this company for me are rock solid people, you know, like top people like Robert Kiyosaki and people of that caliber. They have some investments here too. So this is a highly regulated environment. It's all like a tax, you pay tax. There's nothing funky about it. But your money is stored in something that does not lose their purchasing value. If you had a kilo of gold 100 years ago, you could buy a nice car. With a kilo of gold today, you can buy a nice car. So the gold is the same. And as I showed you with the German marks, the inflation can be terrifyingly fast. And it will come because governments are desperate, banks are desperate, and companies are going to be going bust en masse. So it's time to do something. And this is a solution that I found that not only protects me and allows me to save, put my gold safely, put my money into something that keeps the value, allows me to have access to it very quickly, is flexible, and can make me a good money. So if you want to know more about it, just get in touch with me. I show you the details. I can also provide you a video that teaches you how to get to this, how to sign up. There is no minimum really. You can buy as low as €5 because it's very flexible. There is no maximum either. And I believe this is pretty safe. Nothing is 100% safe, but within the context of what the world is going to throw at us, this is an excellent choice. I hope this video was instructional for you. I hope that you learn a couple of things. And I'm going to keep producing more videos to give you more details about these other ideas. And if you have questions, please reach out. I am here to help you. And I love talking about this. That's why I put this video, because it's a fascinating topic. And we are going through very, very strange times. It's the end of the civilization as we know it. But hey, like I showed you a coin that was 1600 years old that is still valid, your gold is going to be valid beyond your lifetime. Okay, thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Bye-bye. This was Henri-Philippe.